The piercing squeal of school bus brakes announced its arrival to all within earshot of the desolate country road it struggled along. The long slab of door hissed open, and the boy dropped off the cliff-edge step onto the verge, brandishing a painting that had earned him the highest mark in class. He turned to wave his muted thanks, like he had every single day of every single week of every single year he'd attended Adricole Primary School, but again, and not for the first time, the driver thought it seemed like some coded cry for help. But his hands were tied by a minefield of procedures and protocols. He noticed the bruising just shy of the cuffs, and the neckline of the child's sweater, and the limping, the flinching, the tentative way he took to a seat. But what could he do in such a tight-knit community that wouldn't threaten to fuck up his social life? "Mind how you go, little fella," the driver said, leaning on the wheel. Again the boy fixed him, an outwardly emotionless but eerily desperate stare, hanging static in the frame of the door until it hissed shut, and once more the view through the window abandoned him. The boy walked the long mud-track lane to the farm on reluctant legs. He could feel the throb of the thumbprint bruising beneath his rucksack straps. The sun hung low, the sky fiery as his father's temper. He wanted to turn and run, like the voice said, but to where? The calls of the cows grew louder in the still evening air as he rounded the corner of the grain barn and saw his father in the yard, brushing mud from the blades of the tiller. The man turned to face his son's tentative approach. "What you got there?" "A painting I did in class. Mr. Collock said it was the best one." "Art," he slurred in a mocking, dismissive tone. The boy could already smell the peaty fumes of his father's breath from 10 feet away. "Run," said the voice. "Just run." "Yes, art. I like art." "Let me see," he chewed, extending an insistent hand to take the rolled-up batten of paper. An image of the heifer, tongue lolloping from its swinging mouth, flashed the boy's thoughts. The man slid the rubber band off the roll, flicking it across the courtyard, and unfurled the painting. He turned it this way and that. "What the fuck is this supposed to be?" The boy didn't want to answer. He'd already read the room and knew his jokes would bomb. It's supposed to be a representation of how I feel." "You feckin' what?" Of how I feel." The devil held the painting up again, considering the image of a distorted face, the vivid slashes of colour cutting through its wide-open mouth. "Is that supposed to be a feckin' joke? Is this the feckin' education my taxes are paying for?" His face reddened, a white-knuckled fist wielding the screwed-up painting, looking about the courtyard. "How the fuck is this supposed to pay for this feckin' farm?" he seethed. This shite!" He lunged and lashed out at the boy, but the child was ready, and the stumbling, pissed-up attempt failed to land. But the boy's fleetness just riled the alcoholic, and he chased him towards the house. "Go and get your feckin' work clothes on, you shite, and come back and do some real work, proper work, man's work." The boy stumbled into the unkempt farmhouse, his father turning back to carry on his unfinished job. The boy ambled through the entrance hall, past the boot cupboard, and into the heart of the living room. Dust particles sparkled in the rays streaming through the window. He could still smell his mother. Even through the musty stench of dereliction, her scent remained, ingrained into the fabric of the brick and the cloth, even after all that time. She'd passed away just 18 months earlier, and he hankered for the soft, protective embrace of her arms, the pillow of her bosom, and the calming effect that her words had on his father's rage, a rage that had always existed, but that now was unchecked. "Run," came the voice again, the voice in his head, the voice that had arrived shortly after the 5th or 6th beating. "Run, run away, run far," it hissed. "Else kill him."